Hello students of class 11th. Today we'll be discussing on a chapter business services, and the topic which we already covered is banking, and today we are going to cover a topic insurance. Dear students, as you know that here it is written that life is open to risk and uncertainties. Today in this very fast life, you see the number of risk and uncertainties increased a lot. Okay, earlier during the days of our forefather, there were very less medium of transportation. They were like nothing. There were no vehicles. Okay, and like junk food and all, it was not there. Earlier people don't used to get that much sick, but nowadays we fall sick very often. Okay, we have very high speed bikes, cars, etc. Population is also very large. Risk of theft, okay, and risk of getting kidnapped and all these things. There are many kinds of risk which are increasing with the increasing population. So you see there are risk of death, disabilities for human life, fire, okay, then burglar means chori hona, burglar risk for property and so on. In case of occurrence of any of the events, the individuals or an organization, individual means you and me, and organization means a company, may suffer a great loss. So we need someone that who would share this risk with us. So to share this kind of risk with us and to compensate all these things, we have insurance companies with us. So insurance companies used to share risk with us. Okay, see, we all are getting our life insured, we all are getting our property insured, but let me know you one thing: if you're getting your life insured, it doesn't mean that you will play with your life. It doesn't mean that you will take risk. Fine, if your life is insured, still you will try to keep yourself on the safer side. So we all are getting our life insured, but none of us is putting our life on an edge, on a risk, right? So you can say that on one hand we can see that we all are getting a life insured and we are trying to save it as far as possible. So insurance company is going in profit because insurance company is giving life insurance to everyone, and almost everyone is trying the level best to not to play with their life, because life never gives us second chance. So we all try to keep ourselves on the safer side. So we pay premium, but we don't face any such circumstances. And when we don't face any circumstances, and when time periods get over, so whatever insurance premium we pay, okay, then after the expiry of the time we don't get its benefit. So this is all about insurance. In this case, insurance company is earning a lot, and you know, as collection of insurance company increases, then they keep on offering new policies to the customer, where by investing very less money, customer can get a very good return. So this is all about insurance companies. In insurance company, there are three basic terms. One is insurer, insured, and insurance policy. Okay, insurer is the company which is giving you assurance that if you face any kind of loss or risk, so up to a limit, that loss or risk will be compensated to us by the insurance company. So insurance company is insurer, and we who are getting our property or life etc. insured, we are called insured. And the agreement which we sign between insurance and insured is called insurance policy. I hope this topic is clear to you. Now let us discuss about some functions of insurance. Okay, see, what are the functions of insurance? Functions means very simple. Why do we go for insurance? The question is very simple: why do you want your property or life to get insured? Okay, so basically these are our you can say our expectations from insurance company, and insurance company do the same. So whatever insurance company do, that is called functions. So the first function is providing certainty. Okay, providing certainty means, suppose if you're going to face some loss, and as people say that everything is our destiny and our destiny is pre-decided. Most often it happens when something very bad happens with us. So at last what do we say? We say that it was our destiny and this thing had to take place in our life, so it took place. Like that we used to say. So what I mean to say, that we cannot you can say we cannot control our future, we cannot control our time. Okay, and we cannot even predict that we are going to face some profits or some losses. But nowadays, as I told you, due to this very fast way of life, you know, risks are increasing, and you'll face any kind of loss in future, chances are very high. So you know that providing certainty means, you know, insurance cannot remove the uncertainty involved in the business. If you get your life insured, it doesn't mean that you will never face any kind of accidents, diseases, any other kinds of losses. Okay, if they had to take place, they will come, but insurance company cannot remove those uncertainties. But if you face any such kind of uncertainty, then insurance company will share your loss. Okay, they will share your loss. How much? That all depends upon the insurance policy, or you can say the agreement between the insurer and the insured. Next one is protection. Okay, P for providing certainties and P for protection. Insurance cannot stop the happening of a risk, as we discussed here. Insurance cannot stop the happening of risk. However, it gives protection. It gives us protection. How it gives us protection? By compensating us in terms of money. So that is this thing. So what do we mean by providing uncertainties? That insurance company cannot remove uncertainty. Here we will not talk about money. Here we will simply say that insurance company cannot remove uncertainties, but insurance company will certainly help us. And how will they certainly help us? With you can say through financially. So that is called protection. Next is risk sharing. We discussed, this is very common point, we discussed in both these points over here, that insurance companies used to share risk with us. Okay, if you're getting your life insured against some disease, and if doctor tells you that this is the beginning of, you can say, blood pressure, and you may get a heart attack, so what you'll do, you'll start doing some exercises. You will not wait for the cardiac arrest to come. Okay, you'll try to improve your health. You'll go for a walk, you'll do some yogas and everything, and you'll try that cardiac arrest should not take place. So you know, although you got your life insured, if you go through this cardiac arrest, then suppose that insurance is about medical, then you'll get some medical facilities, and touch wood, it should not happen. If someone dies, then in that case, after that also insurance company will pay some back to the nominee of that person. Okay, but who wants to die? This is one very important thing. No one wants to die. So we all are getting our life insured, but we are trying our level best to not to get benefits of that insurance. And this is the plus point of the insurance company. They take premium for us, and you know, from their part, the best part is this, that the person who is getting his life insured is trying his level best to save his life and not to use that insurance premium benefits. That's the beauty. In that case, insurance company earns a lot. Okay, then asset in capital formation. Asset means help. The funds collected by the insurance company, as I told you that insurance company collect a big fund through this way. So whatever funds is collected by insurance company in form of premium, these funds are invested by them in various generating schemes. I told you earlier also that whatever funds they collect, when they have surplus amount fund, a large amount of fund, then what do? They issue new kind of insurance policies with large fund, that which will be much beneficial for the insured. Okay, for us, you can say. And you know that insurance company, for example, I say Life Insurance Corporation, so it's a public company, and public company is basically operated and governed by the government, and government always works for the benefit of the people, because government is for the people and by the people. There are some private insurance companies also. Okay, next one is very important, that is principles of insurance. Now what are principles of insurance? The principles of insurance are utmost good faith. This is very important. A contract of insurance is a contract of ubimi fide. It means contract of utmost faith. Here insurance company should have faith in the person who is getting his life insured, and insured person should also have faith in insurance company. And how can we hold faith? We can hold faith only by being honest. Okay, if you are honest, you should not hide any kind of diseases or something. In case if you hide some kind of disease, and if you get a mediclaim, if you get insurance for a mediclaim, now what happens if doctor diagnoses you and doctor finds that for whatever disease you are asking for compensation from insurance company, and the disease is very old, that disease came in your body almost before getting yourself insured, so in that case insurance company will not compensate you. We should not cheat insurance company. If you are having some existing diseases, then you must reveal it to the insurance company. Next one is insurable interest. Let us see example for this, The example says that a trustee holding property on behalf of others has an insurable interest in the property. For example, if you're a trustee of, you can say, of an organization which is run by a society, okay, and there are some assets. If these assets get damaged, then your earning may also get damaged, and your economically you may also suffer loss. So in that case also you can get yourself insured and you'll get benefit of that thing. Yes, if you're having your own house and if you're getting that house insured, and suppose if some damage takes place, then in that case also you can ask for the compensation. If it is your property, definitely you can ask for the compensation. But the point is about insurable interest. Insurable interest means property is not yours, it is someone else, but your economic activity is dependent on that property. So you can get that property insured and you can pay a premium for that. That property is of someone else, but economically you are dependent on that. So in that case, if that machine or if that car, truck, bus, whatever, if it faces some kind of accidents and damages, then whatever insurance premium you're paying for that, so in lieu of that you will also get compensated for that. Next one is indemnity. Now this is very important. Indemnity means security against loss, and this, this is very common term when we talk about insurance. If a person has insured his house against fire, you can say for 1,50,000, and he suffered a loss of 1 lakh, then the insurer will pay him 1 lakh and not the policy amount of 1,50,000. So suppose if someone is getting his property insured for 1,50,000, so this is the maximum limit. If the loss goes beyond 1,50,000, then also he will get compensation only for 1,50,000. So this is the maximum limit. Okay, but if your property faces a loss, then insurance company persons, officials, they will come and they will investigate and they will see that how much loss actually you have gone through. Now suppose if they find that property is of 1,50,000 but you suffered loss only up to rupees 1 lakh, so they will pay you only up to rupees 1 lakh, and this concept is called indemnity. Next is proximity cause. Okay, cause of loss may be of two kinds, that is insured perils and uninsured perils. Perils means, you can say, some kind of disasters. Okay, now there are some conditions which are insured and there are some conditions which are not insured. Now suppose you are a fruit seller, okay, and if you are sending fruits from Kashmir to Madhya Pradesh, suppose you are sending apples. So now what will happen if due to some accident or due to some roadblock, or you can say any other thing, if that truck reaches to MP 10 days late, in that case what will happen? Those apples will get rotten. So these kind of things which get destroyed naturally, okay, those things are called uninsured perils. For example, when we take out coal, that coal is very heavy in weight. Why? Because it contains water also. And suppose if you are transporting coal from Kerala to Mumbai, so there is a big distance between Kerala to Mumbai, and now suppose it may take 10 to 15 days. Now during these days what will happen? That water will evaporate and weight of coal will reduce. In that case, suppose if the first time when you were sending coal, it was about 500 tons, and when it reached Mumbai, now it is only 400 tons. So there is a loss of 100 tons of coal, but basically it's not loss because the fresh coal contains water, and after some days that water get evaporated and the weight of coal reduces. So this kind of losses will not be insured. That is called uninsured peril. And there are many other causes. It depends upon the different kind of policies which are insured, means which are for which we can ask for claim, and there are some cases in which we can't ask for the claims. So these are called insured perils and uninsured perils. So this is called proximity cause. So whenever you are taking any kind of insurance policy, whether it is mediclaim or life insurance or insurance of a property, you must ask that under which conditions I will get compensation from the insurance company, because there are some conditions which are not covered under the insurance policy. So pay attention to this. You must ask for the proximity cause. The fifth one is subrogation. Now what is the meaning of subrogation? Okay, subrogation means that all the rights against the third party with respect to subject matter insured after compensating the loss of insured. For example, if you got your card insured, now your car got stolen. Fine. Now suppose when you purchased the car, its cost was 10 lakh rupees. Now that car got stolen. Okay, you have put complaint in police station, you filed first investigation report, FIR in police station, everything was done, and police, after some days, police had given you a certificate, a written consent that yes, car of this person is stolen. So now what you'll do, you'll go to the insurance company, you'll present that certificate, and that insurance company will obviously compensate you with some money. Okay, now suppose insurance company gave you 8 lakh rupees. Fine, your cost of car was 2 lakh, 10 lakh, but since you used it for some days, so due to depreciation and all, it cost, you know, according to insurance companies, only 8 lakh rupees. So they gave you 8 lakh rupees. Now after some days, suppose if after some days or after some month or after some years whatsoever, you get back your car. Okay, you suppose you find your car, then what happens? Then when insurance company will come to know this, they will take over the car, because insurance company had already paid you for that car. Understood? So that is called subrogation. Subrogation means taking over. So insurance company will take over your property for which insurance company already compensated you. That is called subrogation. Okay, let us come to this point, that is mitigation. Now according to this principle, it is the duty of insured. Suppose we are getting a life insured, so we are insured. According to this principle, it is duty of insured to take reasonable steps to minimize the loss, and that we will always do. Okay, suppose if it is about life insurance, then we'll try our level best to save our life, and if it is insurance of some property, so you can say we may not take care of our property, and if we are not satisfied with our property, then we ourselves would like to put that property on risk so that we may get some insurance amount. So this concept is called mitigation. Okay, contribution, I'll show you some practicals in my coming video for this. So far today we have learned that what is insurance, what are functions of insurance, and what are principles of insurance. So dear students, please make notes for this till we meet again. See you.